Hey, and welcome back. Today I'm showing you how to use a PDF pattern. PDF patterns have become really popular in the sewing community because they are instantly accessible. You can print them at home. You don't need any special equipment, and it makes it so easy. Indie pattern designers have really taken this route by storm, and I mean within 3 seconds you can purchase your pattern, download it, and then start printing. It is that simple. Purchase your pattern, the first thing to do is print it. So the things to remember when you're printing is you definitely, absolutely, positively must have your printer set to 100% because that is the scale that the pattern designer has allotted for, and if you shrink it or expand it, things are going to be wonky and your sizes will not line up. I like to print in color. If the pattern is color, then my lines are really easy to distinguish. You may also want to only print certain pages, and you can do that by just selecting the page range that you need. Check out my last video for your chance to enter the giveaway that's going on right now. And the number one thing is your test square. Every pattern maker does it differently. Some do it on every single page, some just do it on the first page, some do it on wherever it fits, but they will have a test square, and it's typically either 1 inch or 2 inch. And you just want to make sure that each top and bottom and sides of that square are in fact 2 inches. Will indicate that your pattern is in fact printed to scale. You always want to make sure you're printing at 100%, as I mentioned earlier. So once you have it all printed, you just start taping it together, and a lot of pattern designers now are using these no trim pages. So you just line up your lines or marks or whatever and tape them down. You can trim them off along these lines or even fold them back if you're having trouble. And then just continue taping all your pieces together until you get to the end. And I seem to always have trouble with this. I never seem to get them exactly perfect, which kind of drives me a little bit nuts because I'm a bit of a control freak, OCD, whatever you want to call it. So just realize that that will happen and just do your very best to get it accurate. And if you have trouble, most pattern designers have Facebook groups that will offer help. Another thing really exciting about PDF patterns is a lot of them come with layers, what's called layers. So every size line will be a different layer. And so you can uncheck the ones that you don't want and then only have the sizes you need printed. So if you're only printing a 6-month size, only print that. If you need to grade between a size 8 and a size 14, print those 2 sizes. It just makes things a little bit easier for at-home sewing. So I have the pattern all taped together now. There's a few things I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of when you're doing a PDF pattern. And then you'll find on patterns the line chart, I guess I'm going to call it. And again, some are in color, some are in black and white. I typically prefer the color ones, but Ariel does a really great job of distinguishing between the different lines. So the ones beside each other aren't even close to the same. Like this is as close as it would get. They're still very much distinguishable to tell which is which. Because I don't cut out my patterns from here, as you'll see, I just trace them because I like to reuse the main pattern so I don't have to do this ever again. I do, if I have enough tape and I have enough time, I will go ahead and tape down the entire seam, every single seam all the way down and across. And then I like to use a highlighter and highlight the size that I'm going to be tracing. I don't do this on my color copies, but I do it on patterns that only have black and white, and for some reason I only printed this in black and white. I really don't know what happened the time that I printed it originally, but yeah, that's a great tip, is to use a highlighter so then you know exactly what you're tracing. And then I just go ahead and trace it with a Sharpie, and I will leave the link to this tracing paper that I use in the description box as well. I sew to sell, so I don't want to be cutting up all my patterns and then I don't have the sizes that I need when I need them. And just make sure you're marking all the important points on your pattern pieces as well, including the name and the size. And then cut them out. This is the Aspen Tank from Sewn Patterns, and I will leave the link in the description box for that. Ariel is a fairly new indie pattern designer, and I'm really happy with the detail on her on her patterns and on her pattern instructions especially. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment and let me know, is this your first time using a PDF pattern? You'll be hooked. And once you have it all cut out, you are ready to get sewing. And then I normally don't print out my instructions, I just read them off my computer or my phone, but for the purpose of this video I thought I would print them out so it's easier to show you. A lot of patterns will have the pieces that you need for each view, and then your measurements, and then it'll go out and outline the step-by-step instructions. This is a very high quality instruction booklet, I believe. There are some that are very lacking in the instructions and they really don't show what you need to know, and they don't explain things properly, but this is really well done and I'm glad I printed it out because it's kind of a work of art and deserves to be printed out and viewed and read and appreciated. So thank you, Ariel, for that.